are working on a movement here. This is not a two-day event and then we go home. The violence in our community is rampant.
This is Operation Ceasefire. Can you say ceasefire?
How is it that year after year, 30,000 Americans are killed by a firearm? How is it that an African-American male is 10 times more likely to be killed by a firearm than a white person?
The number one cause of death for African-American man in our community is homicide. Number one cause of death. You go to Hennepin County Medical Center, the number one reason young men are going in there is not for asthma or cold. The reason they're going in there is because of lacerations.
60% of all shootings are from people who have been using drugs and alcohol. This is not just a public health, it's a mental health, and it's a chemical health problem.
I got the word Tuesday at work from a Minneapolis chaplain that my son was killed Monday night. I had no idea. I thought he was at work.
I received a phone call January the 6th telling me that my daughter had been shot. It was probably one of the worst phone calls, or the worst phone calls that I ever received. She got struck in the neck, and she's now a quadriplegic.
Our families are at stake, our homes are at stake, our way of life and our community is at stake. So we have declared, and we're backing it up with all our partners, a ceasefire. This is Project Ceasefire, and we will be successful.
Each person who comes through will receive safety information, tips, clues, and even a gun lock. We'll repeat that process at Urban Ventures on Saturday from 12 to 12. Bring the gun in, they're greeted at the door where they disarm. They receive a sticker, either green for semi-automatic or red for revolver. That triggers your payment. You walk through these doors, move quickly to the front, the desk, and then you receive your folder with your cash cards in it. No questions asked. Ceasefire.
Turning in these guns is one of the most important things that we can do for safety in this city. There is absolutely no one who will turn in a gun who will be fingerprinted, ID'd, or questioned. You turn in your gun, you get your certificate, and you're gone. That's it. If for every gun that's not turned in is a possible life that will be lost on the street.
Ceasefire means a lot to me because this is my community, and I helped tear it down, and I want to help bring it back up.
We're saying no tolerance to violence. We must say that together as a community.
We're going to need the help from all the grandmothers and aunties and nephews and cousins, anybody who has influence over a young man with a gun. Now's the time to sit them down and have that talk and say, baby, enough's enough. Pull that gun out of the mattress, bring it on down, because let's start a new beginning. It's time to start over fresh.
Ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
That we could declare and demand a ceasefire.
And to you young people in this room and young people who might see something I said today, the most important thing I can say to you is it's your responsibility to put your feet to the street today and begin to talk about getting here on those 2 days and dropping off those guns.
They will be redeemers, they will be reconcilers, they will be victorious.
I asked you to talk to your friends and relatives about turning back the tide of violence. We're wasting too many talented young men in our community through this violence. So now don't only turn in the guns today. This is the beginning of a movement against violence in our community. Can I hear you say yes? Yes. Can I hear you say, we're gonna stop violence in our community?
We're gonna stop violence in our community.
Can I hear you say, ceasefire?
Ceasefire.
If you can stop one of those incidents, just one, it's all worth it.
You need to take a look. Ceasefire was able to bring in some very sophisticated, very high-power weaponry, and this is some of the kind of weapons that are doing the most damage in our urban communities.